In spite of all your plannings and preparation, unexpected challenges are certain to arise. The bumps in the road are unavoidable, but you will never get to your destination if you aren't willing to drive over them. The difference between a disaster and triumph lies in whether or not you are prepared and willing to weather the storm. If you are ready, those bumps will become stepping stones.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Lock in and get your CDL. Getting my CDL changed my life. It took me from broke as a joke to finally getting somewhere with my finances, and I couldn't be more grateful, honestly. I never saw myself as a truck driver. I never thought this is where I would be. Everyone's talking about they can't find a job, the job market's trash. I've been unemployed for months. Like, I don't feel that at all. If I needed a job, I could have one in a day with a CDL. You always need truck drivers. Whole school from start to finish is about a month. So you take like a week virtual class and then 3 weeks on the road training, and then you take your test, and then boom, you have a CDL. Yes, most companies do require 1 to 2 years of experience for the better paying jobs, or you could get lucky like I did. I'm literally just a yard driver, pretty much doing what I did at Amazon and making my monthly salary, actually more than my monthly salary at Amazon, in 2 weeks. And I'm on the path to financial freedom in a way I've never been before. Looking at my life from before I got my CDL to now, it's like a 180. I just got myself a 1-bedroom apartment in Phoenix. It's not cheap to live here. I drive a nice truck. I funded my business. I got all my equipment in one paycheck. One paycheck paid for my whole business to start. My savings are stacking up. My investments are stacking up. Changed my life. I can't recommend it more. Personally, I want to be local. I like to have structure. I like to have my life. But if you want to go over the road, you can literally go over the road and stack up for like a year or two, and then you'll be set. So this is your sign. Get your CDL if you've been thinking about it.
If you meet a veteran and they say that the military was not an amazing stepping stone for them to be very successful on the civilian side, that just means that they completely wasted their time while they were serving the military. Whether that means they just played video games the whole time or just didn't focus on any goals the whole time, that is what that means. Okay, I can tell you firsthand, the military can be an amazing stepping stone for a very successful future. You can get all your college paid for, VA home loan, benefits for the rest of your life, have a bunch of money, invest a bunch of money, as long as you're on budget, all these different things, travel the world, learn about cultures, tons of different things that you can do in the military to help you succeed as a civilian. Is it all just amazing? No. Like, you could get injuries, you could be messed up for the rest of your life, all these different things, depending on your job or depending on what happens to you. So there is that. You could be getting fusions and surgeries before you're even 30. Okay, like, I could say that firsthand. But at the end of the day, the fact that I know my wife and children are very well taken care of, probably for the remainder of my life, as long as, everything just stays on course, that's all that matters to me. In the military, I can honestly say, helped me succeed very well in life. I got my bachelor's degree paid for, got my master's degree paid for, project management professional certification paid for, was able to save a lot of money while I was serving in the military, really learned a lot of things, and now I'm able to be on a path to success. I mean, within 25 years, as long as I stay on track, I should be able to retire if I want to. So that's just an amazing feeling. And
one of the coolest things about starting an online business or a side hustle, whatever you want to call it, is that it does not have to be the last one that you ever do. When you start a side hustle, if you truly work hard enough, it really can get you to a place where eventually you have the opportunity and the capacity to be able to expand, try other online businesses, and just generally do other things. I think that's one of the coolest parts about it. Chris and I started Amazon KDP almost 6 years ago now, which is crazy to think in and of itself, but we started almost 6 years ago, ended up quitting our jobs from it. We ended up starting a coaching business as well for KDP, and now we're exploring other things as well. When we were both burnt out working in our 9-to-5s, we never in a million years would have imagined that we would be where we are now and being able to do the things that we're doing, all because we started a side hustle. So I guess my point here is don't have so much tunnel vision that when you're, looking into a side hustle, you can't think of how you could possibly do that for the rest of your life, because the whole point is you don't have to. When you start your entrepreneurial journey, quote unquote, I kind of hate that word sometimes, but when you start your entrepreneurial journey, you are really just starting to build stepping stones for yourself, and you're not going to be on one stepping stone forever. You're literally going to go from stepping stone to stepping stone to stepping stone, and eventually you might have several businesses that are all bringing you in different streams of income. So don't get so caught up on the one that you're considering doing now, thinking like, oh, is this going to be something that I want to do for the rest of my life? Because you don't have to think of it that way. Just think of it as your big start. Think of it as your very first stepping stone into a world of other side hustles and online businesses that you will get to try if you truly commit yourself. And anyone can do this, I promise. We are not special. We literally are just two people who had a goal of traveling more and leaving our jobs and being able to spend more time with our friends and family and just truly do what we want to do with our lives. And we worked hard enough that we got there in the end. So I promise you, if we can do it, there is no reason that you can't do it. But you're also not going to get there if you don't actually just start. So try not to think too much about it. Obviously, you want to do your due diligence. That is always super important to get into whatever it is that you want to get into, but just start building your stepping stones.
If you have been hesitant starting your TikTok journey, take this video as your sign to post your content. I started taking this app more seriously just about 2 months ago, and I have grown my account from 200 followers to almost 8,000 in 2 months. 2 months. I got my first big partnership email this morning, and I am just over the moon with gratitude. This app has brought me so many opportunities in such a little amount of time. I just cannot even thank you all so much for all of your support. If you want any tips or tricks on how I grew my account, please feel free to DM me, but post your content. This is your life. This isn't anybody else's life. Don't worry about what others think. This is about you and your growth, your success, and you can grow. You will succeed. Stay consistent and post your content.
So use the military as a stepping stone to where you're actually trying to get to. The military might not be the job or the career of your life, but it is a great stepping stone if you don't get distracted. It is a great stepping stone. If you sign a contract for either 4 or 6 years active duty, I can't speak Guard or Reserve because I have no idea. But if you sign a contract for 4 to 6 years, you should be on a mission to propel your life in an upward trajectory within those 4 to 6 years. That means as soon as you graduate phase 2, which is like the hands-on portion of your job, and you get to your first duty station, obviously you're gonna be in processing, getting to know the job or whatever. So once you finish that, your supervisor will more than likely allow you to start taking college classes. And what you're gonna do is you start taking college classes. There is absolutely no way, and especially if you know you don't really want to do the military like for 20 plus years, but you know you want to do it for 4 to 6 years and then get out, get a freaking degree, especially if you're not married and you don't have kids. Why? Because you have all the time. And this is coming from someone who is a single mom to 2 kids and trying to finish her master's degree. It is a lot of work. And I'm a 15-year sergeant, by the way. So I oversee a lot of airmen all the time. So you're going to go to school. You're going to make sure you start taking college classes and make sure you get your degree. It is fully paid for by the military. So why not get a degree? It's fully paid for. Second thing you're going to do is invest. Invest in your thrift savings plans, which is like a retirement plan. And if you don't know what it is, there's going to be a lot of sergeants that you're going to be working around that knows a lot about those things, especially your supervisor. And if your supervisor doesn't know, they have a lot of financial advisors on base. But I highly suggest learning about finances like as early as you can. The next thing that you're also going to do is making sure that you get seen for any medical ailments that you have, whether it be knee pain, elbow pain, mental health issues. No, mental health stuff is not going to get you killed. I mean, not killed. Mental health stuff is not going to get you kicked out of the military unless they deem you to be a threat to yourself or others. And then the fourth thing that you're going to do is be around people who are better than you, people that you aspire to emulate, people that you just look up to. They don't have to be your hero or anything. They don't have to be a high-ranking officer. They can just be someone that you feel like are doing things with their life and you want to be there. Because I will say, yes, even though you're in the military and all the rest of you guys are in the military, there are still not so great people in the military. And I will tell you, you tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. Don't be around people who are going to bring you down the wrong path. Be around people who are going to uplift you, motivate you, inspire you to do better.
Responding to this comment up here. For starters, don't let people tell you that community colleges are bad or don't look good on your record. In all honesty, as this comment says, community college is a great stepping stone if you don't fully know what you want to do straight out of high school. Take me, for instance. I went to a 2-year community college straight out of high school for free. After I completed my prereqs, I went to a 4-year university for 2 years for free. So I'm here to say, don't listen to what folks have to say that's negative about community college, honestly. Do you? If you are unsure what you want to do straight out of high school, go to a community college. Do some research. And I mean, if you choose a university, then that's totally fine too. Don't let social media dictate your future. Community colleges are great. Universities are great. Do what's best for you. Choose what's best for you. And don't listen to what folks say about community college classes being easier than university classes. In all honesty, my community college courses was a bit harder than my university. The same. So I fully encourage going to a community college if you are unsure what you want to do straight out of high school, or even if you're out of high school and you don't know where you want to start. I would say start with a community college or a trade. Lastly, I wish you all the best of luck in your educational endeavors, future endeavors, whatever. You'll do great. See y'all.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
If you being 28, you would just have to think, what do you want to use the military for? Because if you want to make the military a career, do your 20 years, retire at 48, your job when you get in there is to rank up and then at least try to become an officer. I say if you're going to make the career out of a military, become an officer because there's more money. Your second option is to use the military as a stepping stone. So say you wanted to do cyber when you get out the military. I would do everything you can. In the military, your main focus would be being good at your job. Don't be a dirtbag. Be good at your job. But focus on getting your cyber cert. So when you get out, you can get a job and then boom. So that's using this military as a stepping stone. You're never too old for the military. You just have to think, do you want to make it a career or do you want to use it as a stepping stone to your next step in life? Most people come into the military without a plan. And when you're 18, when you join when you're 18, you have that convenience of being able to do that. But when you're like over 25, you don't. You got to know what you want to do, use the military for, and get in there and get straight to it.
This is a constant battle that you're going to have when you join a trade. You're going to feel a deep obligation to continue making money and feel torn apart every time you leave your kids behind. You're going to see the trades as a very obtainable opportunity to get ahead financially. You're going to remember that time you prayed nothing would break down at your house because there's no extra money to fix it. And now you get to a point where you don't even hesitate to drive to Home Depot and replace a water heater that broke down. You're going to remember the time that you had to borrow somebody else's car and now your family has reliable transportation. But then it hits you. Distance. It becomes a giant and it seems like it beats you up harder each time you leave for work. Then you reach a point where you're fed up and you call it quits. You try to find a job at home only to be disappointed by the pay. You're together again, but your old problems start creeping back up. Even your wife will start feeling stressed about all these new problems that you have that money fixed. She's gonna be torn between having you home or struggling all over again. Then it happens, bro. Your kids wants to go to taekwondo classes. They want to go to cheerleading. They want to go take some class and you can't afford it. And that's the breaking point. You pick up the phone, you call your old pipeline buddies again. You look out your car window, you look at the house window and you see your kids crying once again. If you're not careful, this will be your life until you're 60 years old. The trades are a very good way to get ahead financially, but that money, you have to use it to build something. You need to have a plan. If not, keep doing it. It's a cycle that you're going to find yourself doing over and over again.
Guys, we all need stepping stones. Stepping stones are the key to achieving your dreams. You need stepping stones. The army is a great stepping stone and has been for a lot of people. Content creation, for me, is a personal, amazing stepping stone. It's a great way to get to your dreams. And for other people, it's college. It's a great stepping stone. If you have a really good major, it can be a great stepping stone to achieve your goals. And for other people, it is grade school. All of these things are great stepping stones. We all have goals in life. We all have plans. And a lot of the times, things go left. And you have to have a stepping stone right there for you to use to jump and reach your goals. This is what stepping stones are, and this is why they are so important, especially in this economy. You need a stepping stone, guys. And for other people who have rich parents, their parents are their stepping stone. Different people use different means to getting to their goals, and that is totally fine. The important thing is that you actually get to your goal. That's the most important thing.
When I say do something for yourself today that your future self will be proud of, I mean that. And I say that with my whole chest. And I will never stop sharing that message because I used to struggle so much throughout my life with limiting my beliefs and myself. I used to think that I was going to be a cashier and work in retail forever. But now, every day, I am extremely proud and grateful that I'm an entrepreneur and that I get to share that side of my life and my business with you. But I think it's important to have a little bit of backstory, call this a little bit of story time, but yeah, I used to believe that this was the best thing that I could do with the fact that I dropped out of college and that I was going to just work to advance, up the ranks and whatever. But I got fired, and I used to think that that was the worst thing that has ever happened to me, but it turned out to be the best. And I used to harbor so much negativity towards that person, but over the years I just have let everything go and I don't think about him. Growth takes time, but true progress from that growth comes from being open to the idea that tough situations may lead to better opportunities. Actually, not be open to the idea. You need to actually fully embrace that when you face challenges head on, it builds your confidence and your self-esteem and your ability to tackle whatever comes your way. And I wish I could go back and tell that 25-year-old version of myself that the world isn't ending, that she had so much potential, and to never lose that fighting spirit. But I can't. But I can tell you that here today. So please use this as your reminder to never give up on yourself, to always keep pouring in to your own personal growth, and to try to escape those boxes that your mind will put you in. The only limits that you have are the limitations that you set for yourself. So go out there and dream big, kids.
The moment I started making content on TikTok is the moment I started growing as a person in a way that I didn't even know was possible. I feel like content creation is the utmost fastest way to catapult you into confidence and just self-development in a way that you wouldn't really expect. And I think it comes down to putting yourself out there in a way that feels very uncomfortable. If you're not comfortable talking to the camera, or just showing your life feels kind of open and vulnerable, which not a lot of people are comfortable with. And honestly, just putting your face out into the internet is not something that is easy, or it comes natural to a lot of people. And once you start doing it consistently and showing up for yourself consistently on whatever platform you decide to be on, is the moment when you realize how much you can do if you don't hold yourself back. So if you're thinking about content creation, I would highly, highly suggest it, even if it's not for gaining a following, gaining any kind of brand. It's more of just a self-development tool that I think is so useful for everyone.
Four-year college is not for everyone, and I don't think it has to be for everyone. I think there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere outside of a four-year college. Me personally, I went to a four-year college. That was my route, but that doesn't mean that's the only route or the best route. We need all different kinds of positions and jobs in this world to function. So let me show you what you're gonna do to find some of these. You're gonna start by going to Google. Obviously, Google trade and technical schools, and then try to find the ones that are in your area. I live in Austin, so I just happened to go down the list and I clicked on one, which is Texas State Technical College. And then from there, you can click on whatever program of interest you're thinking or you're considering. For this example, I clicked on aviation. Then it will give you a little breakdown of what you can expect salary-wise. So you can see right there, 67 to 180K. The certificate program is 4 to 20 months. That way you get all the info. Then from there, you can click on admissions and you can go apply. It's gonna be shorter than a four-year college. There's better job outlooks for some of these right out of college. So go do your research in the area that's near you and start researching some of these trade or technical schools.
Bartending is not made to do forever. It's a stepping stone. It's so hard on the body and so physically demanding. Use this as a stepping stone to go into other revenues, and I'm finna talk about them. You could go into mobile bartending. So you could set your own rates, you could do private events, you could start your own business. Next, you could do cocktail classes, which is also what I do. You could host workshops, you could create online courses, and you can also teach aspiring bartenders. Next, you can also be a brand ambassador for these liquor companies that are out now. You could promote their products, you could travel, all that good stuff. Next is consulting and bar management. So you could help bars improve their menus, you could even create their entire menu, you could train their staff, and you could also manage the team if you want. Next is content creation. Like, duh, get on here and make your drinks. If you bartend already, why you not on here making drinks? Like, duh, you might as well get paid for that too. Everybody need a good recipe. And the last one can be product development. So you can have your own shot glasses, your own shakers, your own cocktail mixers, even your own liquor brand if you wanted to.
Take over college. Don't let college take over you. And you may be asking me, Chi, what do you mean? Let me explain to y'all. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Chinra, but everyone calls me Chi. I do college advice and HBCU content, and I'm also a graduating senior at the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. But back to what I was saying, take over college, don't let college take over you. The reason why I say that is because in this time and generation of college students, a lot of times we are focused on everything about college. I need to join this organization, I need to be president of this org, so-and-so is talking about me, I need to, defend my name, blah, 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 blah. But we're never really worried about how college is going to affect us once we leave. Because a lot of people get so invested into the college world that they forget that college is supposed to be a stepping stone and not your last stop. And because I'm about to graduate and I've literally seen 3 classes ahead of me graduate, I've been able to see this in real time. What will happen is they'll leave college and you'll realize who used college as a stepping stone and who used college as their last stop. Because outside of the college world and what they did in college, there's nothing to show in the real world. And the only time that they truly matter again, in the aspect of being big and doing great stuff in the real world, is when they step back on campus during homecoming time period, because everyone remembers what they did in college, nobody remembers what they did in the real world. And once they leave that college world, that homecoming time period, they're back to just nothing. Does it make sense? So don't let college take over you. Make sure that you take over college and use college for what it is, a stepping stone into the real world to excel yourself. If you like this advice and would like more, make sure to follow me on my TikTok and also on my Instagram. But I will catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Bye.
So if your reality right now isn't exactly the life of your dreams, you have a gift on your hands, and here's why. You're not working a job you really love. You're not in a relationship that you feel truly honors you the way that you deserve to be honored. If you're not living in a city or a home or a whatever that suits you, these are okay, right? We don't have to be like the finished version of ourselves. We're on the journey. That's part of the point, okay? There's something so powerful about witnessing yourself exactly where you are and owning it. That's the gift. A lot of the time when we are dissatisfied or discontent with our lives, we are so quick to want to change our circumstances, and that makes total sense. That's rational, that's logical, it's good strategy at some level, but the deep healing and transformation actually happens when we accept our reality right now as it is. And we accept that we made conscious choices to create this reality right now. You can outsource as much of that responsibility as you want to, saying it was determined by your context, your environment, your situation, your fortune or misfortune, whatever. But as much of that as you can consciously own, the better you'll be for it. So when you say, okay, cool, here I am. I'm not necessarily in the life of my dreams, but I chose this. Okay, this is a stepping stone. But really let yourself put your full weight of your body on that stepping stone. It's important. Your here now is not random. It's significant. It's part of your curriculum. It's part of your path. Don't disvalue it just because it doesn't look like, the fairy tale that you think you ought to be living in. There's something really powerful about being able to see beauty anywhere you are, being able to be grateful no matter what, being able to honor yourself every step of your journey, not just the steps that look like success, right? Even the steps back, honor them. When you do this mindset shift, when you really shift how you view your reality and you start taking ownership for these things, you draw your power back in for you to start creating more boundaries, to start really visioning what you want, to start calling in relationships, friendships, people, opportunities that align more to who you want to be or the life you want to live. But then you're not doing it to escape your current reality. That's the key. You're doing it because it's the effortless blossoming of your current reality into the next. Does that make sense?
Hi, babe. Today we're talking about stepping stones because every single person that I have coached or co-worked with this week is emanating the exact same energy. On the one hand, we're super excited about something that we're building. We're looking forward to the future. On the other, we're a little meh about something that we have in our current sphere, our current reality. So I want you to bring some accountability and some awareness and cue yourself into the present moment with this affirmation. This is a stepping stone. It only gets better from here. Mwah! Enjoy.
These questions are so broad, and there's a lot I could say. If you want me to give you a lot of details or a lot of information, email me and I'll tell you. But first, is it hard to get in the field? Yes and no. Depends on who you are, how you operate as a person. The go-getters, they typically get jobs either before they've graduated my program or soon after. There are students that think they're go-getters, but they're not. They want jobs to magically fall into their lap, or maybe they try, but they're not really going in the direction that they should be going. Depends on how much experience you have. If you have a lot of healthcare experience, it's probably going to be easier for you. If you have none, it may be a little bit harder. I have a student that I use in all of my videos because it's just, it's a recent thing that happened. This student applied for an inpatient medical coding job. They liked the student so much that they were like, hey, we're not going to give you this one, but we're going to make a job for you and we're going to hire you before you're even credentialed. True story. I have other people that have graduated, or I call it graduated, but completed the program in January and are working from home part-time by March. It just really depends on the job market, your resume, how well you interview, your experience. Are you a go-getter? I don't know. My program is flexible, 100% flexible. I've been teaching for 10 years.
at the community college level, and it was set up on semesters. You have 16 weeks each semester, deadlines each week. You have to jump through all these hoops for the state. It was just a nightmare for students. And as an instructor seeing that, I want to make mine as flexible as can be. I want you to be able to have a life, you know, deal with your own responsibilities, your own obligations, and yet still be able to better yourself. That's why I created SMC Academy. And the way mine works is it's work at your own pace. There are interactive lectures that explain everything to you every step of the way. If at any point in time you don't know what's going on or you don't understand, you reach out to me, email me. Let me know that you're having a problem. Tell me what it is, and then I will respond through email. I'll make a personalized video, or we can set up a virtual meeting that is based on your schedule, your availability. Because like I said, I want this to work for you. I work for you to help you.
Here's the thing. Back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, social media was used as a stepping stone for people to show off their skills and their talents in order to get into the various industries that they wanted to get into. Now, in 2024, social media / content creation is the industry. It is a career. Back then, if you wanted to be like a blogger or a YouTuber, people would suggest you pick a topic that you really enjoy talking about, or a skill that you know a lot about and can teach or do how-tos for, and create your content based off of that. Now, people care a lot about views and follows and likes, and so they are doing whatever they can to get those, which can include making up things, portraying a lifestyle that you actually do not live, and doing things like rage bait. And so now you have people who think that TikTokers and YouTubers shouldn't be hired to get these like real jobs because they're not getting them off of skill or talent. They're getting them because they're being used for their followers and their popularity. And in a sense, that's valid, but also in another sense, you're forgetting about the people who are on this app who actually did go to school for the various things that they're doing on social media, or have educated themselves in other ways, and are doing what they're doing on social media. And it's unfair to lump them in the same category. Now, do I think that you need to go to a 4-year college or university in order to create content about a topic or a skill? No, but education is important. You should always be trying to better yourself and getting better in your area of expertise or whatever. And the internet is free, and you can learn a lot just by Googling something or typing it in the YouTube search bar. I think the important thing is to have the level of self-awareness to know whether or not you can handle whatever job opportunity you are being offered. And the responsible thing is that if you aren't ready for it, then you could just decline it. But you get yourself ready, so when the next opportunity comes in, you can take it and you can succeed at it.
Life will give you opportunities like this rocks to walk towards your success. The problem is, when you start, sometimes it may be easier, but as you move on, life becomes a little bit harder. And at some point, guess what? There's no opportunities, or the opportunities are less and the opportunities are further away. All you have to do is believe in yourself and take a leap of faith from where you are stuck to the next opportunities there. Don't get stuck and think about there's nothing you can do.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.